Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Unqualified Film Bros podcast. We haven't introduced ourselves in a while, but we're not going to because we're 92 episodes in now.
Mhm.
So now that Declan's agreed with that, we're going to get into this episode. We are talking about the new Nicolas Cage movie, Sympathy for the Devil. And no, it is not a Rolling Stones biopic. So, gentlemen, I want to start with Max
Even
because he
have the
sent me a very
song in it.
Max sent me a very cryptic text earlier. So, Max, I want to start with you. What do you think?
I don't know how cryptic it was. I said I did not like it.
That was the joke. It was sarcastic.
I mean, like it just was not. It just wasn't good. Like uh,
Was not good.
Nicolas Cage. I loved him in Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. I loved him in Pig. I've loved him in National Treasure. Like he's great in some of these roles. This was not it, unfortunately. I don't
I
think it
think
fit.
I like both
And
the actors.
the story was just oh, very thin, very thin. And I
Yeah,
can
it's
see
like
why
I like
Ben
both.
and I had trouble finding it in theaters. It wasn't playing anywhere
Yeah.
but us in
Mm.
DC.
I think it was like an in theaters film where it technically
Yeah.
exists before in theaters, but it's basically meant to be like on
Yeah,
demand,
it's
which is how
video
I
on
watched it.
demand that gets a limited theatrical release. It's
Yep.
playing the only theater near me that it's playing in is the Criterion in New Haven, which I just found out today. It's probably closing at the end of the month. So
Oh no.
God.
support your local movie theaters. I've had this will be the second of the four movie theaters closest to me to close in the last 4 years.
Dear God,
So
imagine
we
if the last film you see in the movie theater is Sympathy for the Devil.
no, I rented it. It was less money to rent it.
Smart.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah, I rented it. I'm
Yeah.
glad I didn't have to go to a
Just
theater
to
for that though.
just to follow up, like I like Joel Kinnaman and I like Nicolas Cage. I think they're both good actors.
Mm.
And to be fair, Nicolas Cage really does the most with the material
Mm.
because there's no material. Like it's got a 1-2 punch. It's like you're not this guy. The great twist is you're that guy.
Actually, is the guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
actually.
They didn't
that was
really like set. I feel like it was like just like off screen almost. They set it up like they had like him start to accuse him of being a guy and him deny. Like I just feel like in the previous scene he was just like scared, and then the next scene it's like you're this guy, and he's like I'm not the guy, and then they do that for about 20
yeah,
minutes.
and everything that Nicolas Cage's character, the passenger, talks about. They're only identified. I mean, I think Joel Kinnaman's character has an actual name
He's the
and an
bookkeeper
alias,
now.
but he's only called the driver in the credits.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, but the whole like everything Nicolas Cage's character talks about with we're going to Boulder City, we're gonna you're gonna talk to my boss and we're gonna get this all sorted out. It doesn't happen. Like there's all this talk about, dare I say, lore for the story, and then
Well,
it's not paid off at all.
I think
Mhm.
their idea with that is not a payoff, but like this is a cryptic version of the story that we're gonna reveal to you later, which is what I
Mhm.
get. But it's like there's not that much of a story there. It's like, oh wow, you killed this guy's family. Wow, and you're that guy that did it.
You're
That's
actually the
that's
guy
it.
who killed the family. That's kind
That's
of
actually it.
unexpected.
So it's
I
like it's an hour and a half of them basically just repeating the same thing over and over again, but with like the cool backdrops of where are they even? Like it looks like
Vegas.
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 Yeah, that's what I thought, but I don't. Yeah, I mean, just things happen in this film. Things are just happening,
yeah.
but nothing's
I'll say
happening.
this: it's possible to make a compelling, great film like about a guy who's like threatening another guy who's driving the car. I'm talking about Collateral
Oh my
with
God,
by Michael
the
Mann.
fucking kill
Yeah,
you.
that Tom Cruise with his terrible, terrible haircut. Like he's great in the film, terrible haircut.
Yeah,
Like
it's an awful look, but he's an awful guy in the film, so I guess
that's
it
true.
fits.
So it adds to it. But like that film, I mean, admittedly, that film, they like there was like a thing that was attempting to be accomplished in the film. So
And
there
also
was
there was no relation. It was like I feel like you lose a lot of the whole idea, which I like the film. I don't love it. Collateral, that is.
mm,
And even there, like
I was
that,
confused for a second there.
yeah,
yeah.
that is actually, it's a smart way to do things.
Mm,
It Plenty of people have done this. It's like Taxi Driver too, the bad guy in the back trying to like see the similarities between the driver and this guy.
mm.
They try to do some philosophical something here, but it's just like, I mean, it's just stupid, yeah.
Like there's
At a
there
certain
there's
point, they don't say anything. There's nothing. I love philosophical movies. Blade Runner, nothing happens in that film really. Um, but I love it, and that's because the writing is fucking amazing. The characters are great. Um, and also, I mean, the cinematography too. But there's just nothing here. There's no story. There's no characters. I mean, they didn't even develop the characters past the moniker of the driver and the passenger.
mm.
Um, it's really on Nicolas Cage and Joel Kinnaman to just act the shit out of whatever they've been given. And to be honest, they do. It's just what they've been giving is just so bad. It's
Yeah. The
Yeah.
the story, and Declan, I 100% agree with what you said about how it's possible to do this story really well. And I think, Collateral is a good example of that.
I'll stop you
Sort of
right
in
there
the
just for a second. It's possible to do any story well.
Oh,
You just
you're
have to have
interrupting
a
me.
story.
You're interrupting me? Don't.
By the way, also I love Nicolas Cage, but oh, that Boston accent was
You know what? We got a
one.
taste. We got a taste of the Boston accent in Massive Talent. He does the whole dramatic monologue
Oh,
for the
that's right.
audition,
And then he
Yeah.
actually does it here.
and then he
I
does
was,
it for the whole goddamn
I was
movie
kind
here.
of hoping that we'd get like
Better?
that there would be like a connection between it where you said the pucker up your asshole line.
Oh, that would have been great. Honestly.
I like kind
That
of
would have
thought
made this movie so much better if this
yeah.
were the movie that he was auditioning for.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like he should have just gone all for it. Like he's already going
Massive talent cinematic
over the
universe.
top.
Mm,
He might as well go over the top in the accent too, just be like,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and we're gonna park the car over here in the Harvard yard.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a worse Boston accent than anything Nicolas Cage has ever put to film. Come on,
Exactly
Benjamin.
though. Exactly. They have to you gotta commit to it, all right? If you're gonna do a bad one, you just gotta commit
Fair,
to it.
fair.
Mm, mhm.
But yeah, I mean, it's possible
Go
to do this story.
Patriots!
Tom Brady, that
Tom
quarterback kid.
Brady is the greatest quarterback.
Come on, I don't sound that much like Peter Griffin. To quote Ted.
Yeah. So what was I saying?
It's possible to do the story well.
It's possible to do the story really well. Or it's possible to do the story poorly but make it fun or interesting. Another example of this story being done is Stuber from about 4 years ago with Kumail Nanjiani and Dave Bautista.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
It's
I didn't even know
fun.
that was a movie.
It's not a great film. It's fun. You got
Much
two.
fun.
Yes, I agree.
Okay,
You've got
but then
two
why would you put it
talented
as an
actors.
example?
I don't know. But anyway, you can do this story right or fun or interesting. And you've got two lead actors here in Nicolas Cage and Joel Kinnaman who have the chops to make this film good. And really what it comes down to, because you've got a really solid premise, but you don't execute it with the story, and then you take a poor story and you don't execute it with the script. And it just compounds upon itself until it just kind of ends.
Mm-hmm. Mhm.
Yeah,
They have a little bit,
Is that
a
a fair
little
assessment?
bit of something at the very end where they talk about possibly like the idea of redemption, redemption. But I feel like that only comes up at the very end of the film.
dude, they
Like,
they they had some weird, like, Declan. You're right, they do have that, except it's some weird shit. He's like, yeah, God chose me. It's some God, like,
it's
Well, I
to
chose
think
me
make
to
me
that's
to
like.
redeem myself.
I think it
the
maybe
Very
is
whole
talking about
religious
idea
stuff.
of
evangelicalism, but like it's just at the end, so it's
Oh,
like not like you can make it a part of the
I think I died.
story,
I
like
mean
which is weird.
the whole thing with Nicolas Cage's character, he's got the red suit, he's got the dyed red hair. He's supposed this the film's title is Sympathy for the Devil.
Mm,
He is possibly the most, you know, hitting you over the head as hard as possible metaphor for the devil that we could get. And then with the predictable twist that he's not the real villain of the film,
mm.
you know, or he's not the real bad
Well,
guy.
he kind of is.
He's a bad guy, but Joel Kinnaman with the
Oh,
whole reveal that he's really who the passenger
He
says
was
he
the
is.
hitman who killed his family.
Yeah, I mean, it's pardon the use of the color here, but it's a red herring,
Mm, it is.
literally. Uh, and you know, it doesn't work.
I
Mhm.
think
Nothing nothing in this film other than, you know, Nicolas Cage's psyched out monologues works for me.
mhm. Like another film that I saw recently that I was comparing a lot in my head was Renfield with Nicolas Cage as Dracula and Nicholas Holt as Renfield, his sidekick. Renfield wasn't perfect, but what I would say is that Nicholas Nicolas Cage was a supporting character, and so his scenes weren't meant to hold up the entire film, and therefore you could just have fun with it. With this film, it's kind of like all like reliant on Nicolas Cage to like carry like the entirety of the film's momentum essentially rests on Nicolas Cage's presence. And I feel, and yeah, the material was not good enough for Cage to deliver anything truly special. Like he's done many other performances that were more entertaining throughout than this film.
Yeah, I think, you know, the bottom line is all this film is good for is Benjamin joins us and leaves us, and hey Ben,
Yes.
my computer just was dying, so I
there we
figured I'd
go.
go. Oh,
Um, there he is. Yeah, this film is an addition to, you know, the next time Aiden asks us a trivia question where we have to name as many Nicolas Cage films as possible, which I'm still pissed at myself that I was the first one eliminated in that. But
I'm
it's
annoyed at myself. I should have gotten more.
Hey, I'm
yeah.
happy. I went toe to toe with Ben.
That's true.
that's tough to do. Ben, you're tough to
Honestly.
beat in that naming deep cuts for Nicolas Cage.
I know a lot of Nicolas Cage movies. I watch more horror movies and B movies than you guys do.
Yeah, that's true. So that would definitely help. Yeah.
There's
But
a
yeah,
lot
but
of horror movies. But yeah, I mean, like, his performance is great and all, but there's plenty of performances like that in other movies. I mean, even in The Wicker Man, it's not a great film, but it's much more entertaining seeing him like go off the rails. In this one, it's just like he's going off the rails, but there's just like nothing around him. It's like Joel Kinnaman is just he has no role. Like there's no character
yeah.
to him.
They need to
develop
make
him.
they need to maintain the twist that he actually was a bad hitman this whole time, And so they can't let him actually have a character, essentially.
Yeah, basically has no character until the end of the movie because they wanted the twist that we said he's not that guy, but he's that guy.
Sympathy for the devil. Were we sympathizing with the devil? You know, like that kind of thing. You know, it's like and it's the twist isn't.
It's something that you would submit, and correct me if I'm wrong, George. It's something you would submit in a screenwriting class, and the teacher would probably hand it back and be like, good premise, good idea, but there's not enough here, and somehow it managed to make it.
If I could respond to that real quick,
sure.
I think that's pretty much exactly how it would play out. I mean, there have been times when I've turned in a scene or a short or what have you, not in a while because I have improved. But there have been times, when myself or my classmates have turned in a script and the professor or even, another student has said, there's nothing with this character that we can grab onto. There's nothing sympathetic. Pardon again the expression, Declan, because you already made that joke. One of the best references that my mentor Bill talked about a few times in class over the 2 years that I was in film school is in the Star Wars original trilogy when Han Solo says, "It's not my fault." And that is one of the most human, relatable emotions that we can have, is saying, yeah, I've been there. I know exactly how he feels right now. Han Solo is someone I can connect with. There's no moment in Sympathy for the Devil where the driver or the passenger or even anyone in the diner or the cop or the driver's wife who's in labor who never appears on screen, there's no one in this film who has that moment of, we can connect with them. They try to do it with the driver when the passenger shoots and kills the cop. They try to say, "Oh, he had a family. You could have just ruined this guy's, everyone this guy ever loved." And it's like, yeah, we would all probably react in a similar way, but that doesn't make the driver a compelling, relatable character.
Well,
so you're exactly right, Ben, that this script and these characters exist for the purpose of existing. It's cyclical. There's no reason for them to be except to be.
Yeah. I mean, they're like stagnant characters. They exist, but also they talk, right? But they say the same things over and over again. They repeat the
in
same
every scene. Every single scene.
It's like
in the car, in the diner, in the desert.
And then it's interspersed with moments where Joel Kinnaman looks, he just looks, I guess. And then Nicolas Cage is just out of his mind.
Yeah.
But there's no character. So even before, someone can be sympathetic or a character can be sympathetic.
This is all Joel Kinnaman does for the first hour and 25 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
That's more of like that kind of thing.
It's like gripping the wheel.
Yeah.
And then when he's handcuffed under the diner table, it's just like the director said, "All right, Joel, you're not going to say anything, but I want you to react. I want you to emote."
All right. Now, Joel, you can't say anything, but just imagine you're taking a really big shit. What are the faces?
Exactly.
It's like, it's so hard to watch though because he's a good actor. They literally gave him shit. Like that's what they gave him as lines and a character.
It's
I hope he got a paycheck.
Yeah,
I
you know what this I realized what this movie feels like. It feels like an episode of an anthology show that they then decided to try to stretch out to be a full length movie rather than like just a half hour like
yeah,
short
no,
stories.
that's a good point. The
Yeah.
sad
Yeah,
thing
like
is, I think even with like a 15-minute anthology episode, it would have character development.
yeah.
I mean, even like Tales from the Crypt or Creep Show or any of that stuff, they have more character development.
Yeah. I would say I would go with Twilight Zone just because it wasn't truly a horror. It didn't have that would not necessitate as much horror elements, but like
I think that probably it's something that you would probably see in Tales from the Crypt or something like that. They had plenty of those episodes where it's like you don't really know there's a horror element until the end. So the twist would have been, instead of him just being that guy, him being like a vampire or something too, and kill Nicolas Cage. That would be a Tales from the Crypt episode.
that would be an interesting Tales.
It
You
also
think
would
the
have been a more
entire time
enjoyable
Nick Cage is a
climax.
vampire?
Yeah, but there are definitely episodes where it's like that, where it seems like just a natural, sort of mystery or something, and then they just pulled something out of nowhere. The episode 4 of the most recent Black Mirror is kind of like that.
Which one is that one? I'm trying to remember.
Oh, Maisie Day.
Is the season good, Ben?
It's pretty ups and downs.
It's pretty good. The fourth and fifth, fourth one's the worst one. It's not great.
That's the one with the paparazzi, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That one's kind of like what?
It's got one of those Tales from the Crypt like supernatural endings.
Yeah.
The fifth one's just straight supernatural, but 1 through 3 are really good.
I agree with that.
I would say 2 is probably one of my favorite episodes, if not the best one they've done.
Okay.
That's what I'll recommend over this movie.
Yeah. Honestly, watching a Black Mirror episode is probably a better. You would probably find it more entertaining than now. I don't despise the movie or anything like that. Like it's not like I was like in pain watching it. I should.
Well, no, it's not aggressively bad. It's just not aggressively anything. That's the problem.
It doesn't overstay its welcome. Like this movie at 2 hours 15 would have been unbearable.
I would have killed myself.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what you would have done.
Because
we've watched worse movies than this.
You didn't do it for Blonde.
We have watched worse movies than this.
Look,
we watched Blonde. We watched Morbius.
I had 9 lives. I'm probably on like 6 now. I think I took 2 when I went to see Jurassic World.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, that was awful.
Yeah, that was yeah.
I wasn't on that episode, so I didn't have to sit through that movie.
You didn't miss
lucky person.
This guy put her on the schedule, doesn't even show up to the worst movie ever.
Hey, if I remember correctly, you guys could have chosen to do anything that week. I was at film school. I didn't. You do what you want.
No. Else seeing. Otherwise, we would have had to. I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
Whatever. It's a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Maybe I really just.
I remember more vividly describing the plot of the film during the Nope episode to Chip and him being in shock that that's actually what it was about.
Oh yeah. Another episode I wasn't on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, as you can see, we have a lot to think about with this movie.
Yeah.
I think
it shows. Like I did not enjoy watching Jurassic World Dominion, but it does. I mean, I don't think this makes it better or anything like that, but it does inspire more passion from its like.
It's like at least just look. I just don't know how you made a film that's an hour and 30 minutes where nothing happens, nothing other than like Nicolas Cage going off the rails and killing some people. Everything that happens in this film happens in like 10 minutes in another film with tons of stuff happening.
And I
Yeah.
think the bottom line is that this film doesn't
It's like
really
a
know, it
Sopranos
doesn't
episode.
know what it wants to be.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a mystery, but it's also a psych thriller, but it's also an
Mhm.
action piece.
It's
And there are
like a
funny,
first
there are moments that attempt to be funny, like in the diner with the mozzarella cheese.
Mhm.
It's like,
But it doesn't work
what are
because
you going for here?
It's like a first draft of a script that they decided to not touch up whatsoever, and then just like film as is. So all the like disparate elements are not brought together at all. Yeah, it's
But
like
it's
I'm not
also
sure.
exactly what Nicolas Cage would take at this point in his career.
Well, no, that's not true. Nicolas Cage will take anything at
What do you
any
mean it's
stage.
not true? It happened.
I guess at this point in his career. But I want to make the difference.
It's a real film that he took and did.
I'm trying to make the difference that he
Yeah.
would take this film at any stage in his career, and he
That
will
is true.
more films like this. You should just feel the films he's in. I mean,
Mhm.
there are some crazy
I think
ones
we've
out
established
there.
that you're the expert on him, Ben.
I would
Yeah.
I would say
I'm trying to say this is not new for him. It's just we added it to the pod.
yeah, I would say like the now that he's out of massive amounts of debt, I feel like he's probably able to be slightly more selective. But being slightly more selective for Nicolas Cage is like being a slightly smaller like atom bomb explosion. It's not that much of a difference really, but it is a little bit.
You have to understand that he has been out of that debt for a while now. He's just
Has he?
He's been out of that debt since he started like doing those crazy horror movies.
Oh snap! Oh man. Well, I mean, I'm glad he's not had to struggle with
Yeah, I
it.
think he was out of debt at like 2017 or 2018. He just does all this shit because he finds it fun to act off the rails.
Yeah, and he gets movies where he gets to just like lose his mind. Like I haven't seen Renfield yet, but I assume he goes kind of crazy as Dracula.
Yeah.
Massive talent. He just had a blast with Pedro Pascal. Pig. That's a movie that I don't think many other actors could have taken, and yet he absolutely crushes it.
You guys gotta watch Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call, New Orleans.
I've heard of that one. I heard it's like
it is hilarious. Nicolas Cage is insane in that movie, but the entire movie just revolves around that. It just embraces that. It's directed by Werner Herzog of all people. Okay,
that was Werner Herzog.
Yeah, it was Werner Herzog.
I would like to see the baby. Ever since that episode of The Mandalorian, that's all I think of when I think of the great, legendary, iconic Werner Herzog.
Honestly, valid. Like,
I don't think you've seen any of his films, George.
Give me a second.
I don't think you would have seen any of his films.
Yeah. I'm meaning to see. I think I'm gonna soon watch Agiro Wrath of God, but I haven't seen. Yeah, I'm not sure if I've seen.
That's his most famous one, probably.
Yeah, I watched though. I saw a bit of the documentary he made about Klaus Kinski, and it's also, but it's. I mean, I haven't finished it, but it does still rate because I decided I should watch Agiro Wrath of God first. But it raises the question of, Werner, why are you working with this man? This man is genuinely insane, like deeply troubled. Werner, what are you doing? But that's a whole other.
Off with yacht.
No, we won't get into the horrible can of worms that is Klaus Kinski.
So. Yeah. My last sort of question here, because I think we've said a lot, almost as much as we could probably say about this one,
and more.
So I'm going to ask each of you, what is one thing that you would do or add to this movie? We're not talking about what you would have taken away.
Mhm.
What would you add to this movie to make it better?
I
One
think
thing.
can I give my answer?
Narrow it to one. Declan, you go first.
I think I would have the reveal that the driver was actually the hitman and a bad guy, and actually like a bad guy in the past at like an earlier point, like the midpoint maybe, and like thus you can actually develop the characters and their relationship far more. It's like, of course, raise the question of why he wouldn't kill him, but I think there's some point to it. But I think that would at least give them both actual character, in my opinion.
Good answer.
You know what? I think I'll stick with the supernatural element.
Mm.
Just make the twist better.
Yeah.
To the point that, like, I don't know, this guy is a part of some secret cult or something, not just like the mob or whatnot.
Or like half demon or something. Yeah.
Yeah, like half demon, like literally Satan. I don't know.
Mm.
It's called Sympathy for the Devil. Just lean into
Yeah.
that. Who cares? But you
Go
have
for it.
you got nothing there. It's like, this is the guy. This is not the guy. This is the guy. Scene from Mulholland Drive.
This is not my bird.
No. This is the girl.
I had a guy. You are not the guy, to quote my Kermit.
Yeah, I mean, either that or just there's been time travel a couple of times this year. Do time travel.
You know what?
Hollywood staple at this point.
Joel Kinnaman hits 88 miles per hour.
You
Yeah,
know,
try to make it
I
work.
agree with that.
I mean,
Go
they
back
worked it
so
into
that
an
he could
Indiana-
stop himself from shooting his wife.
Yeah, they
And-
worked it.
or-
They worked it into an Indiana Jones film. I think they can do it with this.
Honestly, valid. Like, pretty valid.
It didn't fucking work in Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I didn't say it worked. I
Well,
just
it
said they put it in there.
They found a way. They found a way.
Life finds a way. Yeah. I don't know. I there are several things that you could do to the plot to make it better. Improving the twist is probably where I'd go.
Mm.
You could also say, like, technically speaking, better action choreography.
Who cares? It's a low budget movie.
But like, let's say
That's something that requires money.
let's say the whole diner scene was done in one take with all the action. That would have been sick.
Yeah.
So like I don't know.
Look,
This
they
film,
love your
to sum it up, this film was a blown opportunity.
They didn't have enough money for something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
So what you should do, instead of doing action scenes, is get rid of all of the action scenes and just make it like a thriller.
Mm-hmm.
Just have them talk. I don't know, have them shoot some people, but like, who cares?
Oh,
about,
wait.
a slow motion like shooting somebody down. That's just stupid.
I know the one thing you could have done to improve this movie, called Sympathy for the Devil.
Include the
Put
song.
these guys in it. Put these guys in the movie.
Valid.
Who's that?
Look at the poster, Benjamin. Look at the poster.
Is that Maroon 5?
Oh my god. Why would I have done the bit if it were Maroon 5? It's the Rolling Stones.
Because Adam Levine is the devil, and the guy in the movie is named James Levine.
Fair enough. Honestly, you kind of saved that one. That was nicely done.
It's his
I'm
brother.
so disappointed, Ben.
But yeah, they definitely did not have the. Actually, I don't know if they had to pay for it. I don't know who produced this or distributed it. I don't know how that works, but it seems like that would cost a decent amount of money.
that they didn't have.
I mean, how much did we say that this film has made at the box office? Like 62K?
$68,000. Yeah.
Oof.
which is less than some people's tuitions to college,
You know
So
what? I bet you they filmed that entire movie in like 2 weeks or something, and they just showed up.
that was a very, very easy shoot. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
So what I will say as we end this episode is you don't have to see Sympathy for the Devil in a movie theater.
Mhm.
We all
In fact-
rented it, to my knowledge. I don't know if anyone actually went to see it in a theater because I was the only one who could find it and I rented it. So support your local movie theaters.
Mhm.
Please support cinema in any way you can. See Barbie again. See Dead Reckoning again. See Oppenheimer again.
Oppenheimer.
And with the SAG and the
I revised that
WGA.
statement. Go see Dead Reckoning. It's a really good movie, and it hasn't gotten the box office it deserves. So
I might go see Dead Reckoning a third time.
I've been rewatching all the Mission Impossibles.
They're so good.
They're fun. Though the second one is absolutely
No, the second one is not good.
But so funny.
4 through 7, Brad
Bangers.
Bird and then Macquarie,
So good, bro.
Yeah.
incredible.
If
All right,
three, honestly, I love too, just for Philip Seymour Hoffman.
watch some movies. Sympathy for the Devil is probably cheaper to rent on YouTube or Amazon if you think after this glowing review for the last 35 minutes that you would want to go see it.
You guys
or that
should
you would
watch
want to watch it, rather.
the Park. There's a movie Park Chan-wook made called Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance. Go watch that one.
That one good.
Watch Vengeance by BJ Novak.
That's another one.
There you go.
Or
Better.
Collateral by Michael Mann.
Yeah.
Stuber. All right. We are playing Funky Phone reviews next week. So we will see you for that. And undoubtedly, Benjamin will lead us through another movie in a few weeks once he wins for a fourth time.
Ben is very excited about
Man.
Give us a Nicolas Cage movie when you win again. All right. Good night, everyone.
All right.
Listen to some Stones. Listen to some Stones.
Oh, yeah.
Or Maroon 5.
Good night.
Good night.